Hello everyone, welcome to WB Institution, the online education app. Today we are going to discuss about one of the most important subject in mechanical engineering, that is thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is nothing but it is a branch of science which deals with energy transfer or energy interaction in between system and surroundings, and also explains about properties or property change in the system. Now in this definition we can see many keywords, that is energy transfer or energy interaction, and other one is system and surroundings, and the next one is properties of the system. Now let us see what are all these. Firstly explaining about system and surroundings. A system is nothing but any space or any region which are considered for thermodynamic analysis is known as system. There are three types of systems, that is closed system, open system, and other one is isolated system. So on what basis we are classifying these systems? That is in the definition we have seen energy transfer or energy interaction. So that is on the basis of energy transfer we are classifying system into three types. So what are the types of energy transfer? There are three types of energy transfer. One is work transfer, other one is heat transfer, other one is energy transfer by means of mass. So firstly speaking, what is heat transfer? Heat transfer is nothing but change of the temperature. Due to the virtue of change in temperature, the properties will change. That is known as heat transfer. So apart from the transfer of temperature, if anything happens, then that is known as work transfer. Energy transfer by means of mass is nothing but the mass transfer from system to surroundings, and from the surroundings to the system is known as energy transfer by mass. Now coming back again to system. So in the closed system, if we take an engine cylinder with piston and without inlet and exhaust valves, then it is an example of a closed system. Here we cannot see any transfer of energy by means of mass, and we can see the transfer of energy by heat and also by work. In this cylinder, if the piston is in the initial position, there are gases involved in this system, in this chamber. So when heat energy is supplied to the system, the gases will be expanded so that the piston moves from initial position to the final position. Here the transfer of heat happens, but not the mass is not getting transferred. So this is an example of closed system. So and next one is open system. In open system, if we consider the same cylinder with piston and also with inlet and outlet valves, then it is an example of open system. Here heat transfer also happens, work transfer also happens, and energy transfer also happens by means of inlet and exhaust valve by means of mass. And isolated system is the one which does not transfer any type of energy, either heat or work or energy transfer by mass. Then the system is known as isolated system. Now let us see what is a surrounding. Any matter apart from the system is known as surrounding. So any line which separates system and surrounding is known as boundary. Together the system and surrounding we call it as an universe. Now let us see properties of the system. What is meant by properties? Properties is nothing but characteristics of the system. So in this system, properties are classified into two types. One is on the basis of dependency of mass, and other one is on the dependency of measurement. Firstly, what is the dependency on the mass? There are subdivided into two types. One is intensive property and other one is extensive properties. Intensive properties are independent of mass, whereas extensive properties are dependent on mass. So let us consider a chamber of volume V. Let us consider a substance in the chamber. Now it is a closed chamber. Let us see what are extensive properties, what are intensive properties. we are going to see the examples. Let us consider volume. Volume of the chamber, if we divide this chamber into two equal parts, then volume will be divided, that is V by 2 and V by 2. So the volume is mainly dependent on the mass of the system. Therefore, since it is dependent on the mass, it comes to an example of extensive properties. Now let us take an example as temperature of the system. In the same chamber, if we divide it into two equal parts, the temperature doesn't changes in chamber 1 either in chamber 2. So therefore the temperature is independent of mass. Hence we can say temperature is an intensive property. So next one is volume. Your volume already split answer. Continuation solid. So next one is density. If we consider the density of the chamber, if we divide into two equal parts, we know density is nothing but mass by volume. So mass, if we divide it into two equal parts, it will become as m by 2, and volume also we can get it as v by 2. Here 1 by 2 and 1 by 2 gets cancelled, we get again m by v, which is equal to the initial density of the system. So hence it is not dependent on the mass, it is also an example of intensive properties. Now we can see the other example as entropy. We know entropy is a degree of randomness. If we divide this chamber into two equal parts, the randomness of the system will also be separated. So it is dependent on the mass, hence it is an example of intensive property. Now let us see energy. Any type of energy. Let us consider kinetic energy. We know kinetic energy E is equal to half mv square. In this energy, if we separate it into two equal parts, m will become divided by 2. So that is half m by 2 v square. That is half the kinetic energy. When it is separated, the kinetic energy is also separated into two equal parts. So then we can say it is an example of extensive property. We can take any energy, internal energy, kinetic energy or potential energy. They are the examples of extensive properties. Now in intensive properties, some more examples we can take as thermal conductivity, modulus of elasticity. These such types of properties are independent of mass. So they are intensive properties. If we take specific volume, we have seen that volume is an example of extensive property. This specific volume comes as an example for intensive properties. How let us see. Specific volume is nothing but small v is equal to v by m. That is, v is volume of this chamber and m is mass of this chamber. So that is, if we divide it into two parts, v dash is equal to m by 2 divided by v by 2. Here 1 by 2 gets cancelled and again we get m by v, which is the specific volume before. Therefore specific volume is an intensive properties. If any properties of extensive properties, if we add specific to the properties, then those properties are said to be intensive properties. In exam point of view, we can see few questions in the past examinations of engineering services and also in GATE exams. That is, they will mention the properties which are to be intensive or extensive properties. So they may ask as they match the following, or they can choose the following from the above properties, like kinetic energy, internal energy. They will mention 4 examples. So they will ask to find out which are intensive properties and which are extensive properties. Now let us see process. Process is nothing but change of state is known as process. So in this process, what is meant by state? State is nothing but any condition of the point at any point of the system is known as a state. Now in this diagram we can see the piston in initial position and the piston at the final position. At initial position, the pressure value is P1, volume is V1 and temperature is T1, and at the final state it is P2, V2 and T2. When the state when the process happens, the piston moves from state 1 to state 2. Here we can say that the process has undergone some states, that is a process from one state to other state. So basically, what are three types of processes? So here we can see reversible process, irreversible process and quasi-static process. On what basis we are classifying these processes? That is on the basis of thermodynamic equilibrium. Before explaining the types of processes, let us see what is thermodynamic equilibrium. Thermodynamic equilibrium is nothing but a system which satisfies all the three equilibriums, that are mechanical equilibrium, thermal equilibrium and chemical equilibrium. Now, what is mechanical equilibrium? In mechanical equilibrium, if we consider an object, in that object the sum of forces in x direction is equal to 0 and the sum of forces in y direction is equal to 0, and also the sum of net moment at any point of the system is equal to 0. When these conditions are satisfying for an object, then it is said to be an mechanical equilibrium. The state is said to be an mechanical equilibrium. And coming to thermal equilibrium, in thermal equilibrium, when the temperature of the system and surroundings are in equilibrium condition, then the system is said to be thermal equilibrium. For an example, if we take a bottle of water from the refrigerator, consider a temperature of around 5 degrees centigrade. If we keep that bottle outside the refrigerator, then the surrounding temperature will be at most 30 degrees centigrade. So the energy transfer through heat will happen in the system. Up to how much? The temperature of the water and the temperature of the surrounding will be equal. Up to that, the transfer of temperature will happen in the system. Then that condition is known as thermal equilibrium. Now coming to chemical equilibrium. In chemical equilibrium, if there is no reaction takes place in two composites, then it is known as chemical equilibrium. So, and also we can say that if reaction also takes place, for example, a chamber which contains N2 and O2, nitrogen and oxygen, if a partition is there, if we remove the partition, the mixture will be happens. So it will get as N2 plus O2 is equal to 2NO. Here we can see a process which has divided into two equal parts. Now the forward rate is equal to the backward rate. If the forward rate is equal to backward rate in a chemical reaction, then we can say it is also in chemical equilibrium. So based on these equilibriums, we can divide these processes. Firstly, we can explain about reversible process. So what is reversible process? In a process, if all the process are in equilibrium, if all the states are in thermodynamic equilibrium, then we can say it is as a reversible process. So consider a diagram, PV diagram. There are two states, state 1 and state 2. If the process happens from 1 to 2, it is said to be a process. Here all the characteristics of the system are in thermodynamic equilibrium. Hence we have to show it in a solid line. There are main characteristics for reversible process which are to be satisfied. One is the path followed from state 1 to state 2, that is the process should be in continual equation. So hence we can say the continual equation is in the form of solid line, so that only we can say it is a reversible process. Here the process happens from state 1 to state 2. The path followed is a same. If the path followed in the reverse process, that is from state 2 to state 1 is also the same, then it is said to be as reversible process. And the next characteristic is there should be no friction generated in this process. Without friction, then only we can say it is an reversible process. And it should not affect universe. because of this process happening, universe should not get any damage. Then if these all conditions are satisfied, then only we can say it is an reversible process. Practically speaking, the reversible process is hypothetical. We cannot see any frictionless material in our system. And the next one is irreversible process. So in irreversible process, no system or no path is meant to be in thermodynamic equilibrium. So some of the points, a few may be in thermodynamic equilibrium, but not all will be in thermodynamic equilibrium. So if we consider the same PV diagram from state 1 to state 2, the process happens, but it is not in thermodynamic equilibrium. So it also follows 4 characteristics. Those are, it is non-continual equation. Hence we can say it is in a dotted line. We can show it in a graph as a dotted line from 1 to 2. So the path followed in the forward process from 1 to 2 may not be equal from the path following in the opposite direction, that is from 2 to 1. The path followed may not be equal. And the next one is, there will be some damages in the universe when this process happens from the forward and also in the reverse direction. In this reversible process, we can see friction generated in between the processes. This is about irreversible process. Now we see quasi-static process. In quasi-static process, we can see all the points are in thermodynamic equilibrium, but a very few are not in thermodynamic equilibrium. That means this system tries to convert irreversible process into a reversible process, but there may be a friction losses in the system generated. Let us take an example. Let us consider 3 cylinders. Let us consider a system. In this cylinder, we can see a stopper in the initial position and also in the final position. So in this piston, we see no friction generated in the piston. If we remove the stopper, the piston will go very fast and hits the top stopper. Here we can see there is no friction generated in this system. So this is called a reversible process. But this cannot happen in nature. And the second one, in this cylinder, for this piston, there is a friction generated in this material. So if we take the stopper out, the piston moves very fast, but there are some friction losses. Due to these friction losses, the efficiency may not be 100%. So this process is known as irreversible process. And in the third cylinder, we can see that a piston is mounted and a series of weights is placed on the piston. So if we remove the top piston, the top weight, the piston will move a position, a forward position. So here a series of weights is placed. If we remove weight one by one, then the piston moves to the top position. By including friction, here also the friction will be there, but it tries to convert irreversible process into a reversible process. This is nothing but a quasi-static process. Now we will see point function versus path function. What is point function? Point function is nothing but the paths which is followed in the process is independent. That is, its main aim is the end point of the process, but it is not dependent on the path followed by the process. Hence it is known as point function. Here it is exactly differential function in this process. If we take an PV diagram, at state 1 we will have pressure P1 and volume V1, and at the point 2 we will have pressure P2 and volume V2. A process has to be begin from 1 and end at point 2. This is the only motive for the point function. The path followed may be different, and the process will be known as point function. This process is known to be as a path function. Now let us see path function. In path function, the path followed by the process is to be fixed, and that means it should be dependent on the path followed by the process. So the examples of this path function are heat transfer, work transfer, etc. Now if we take a function z equal to f of x comma y, if it is exactly differential, that means we can say the z function is a point function, and a function is not followed by the system which is not exactly differential, it is known as path function.